I have a few comments about the raid of Mar-a-Lago that took place a few weeks ago. First, I'll talk about the raid itself, and then I'll give my somewhat contrasting take on the incident. Essentially, this was just the latest attempt by the political establishment to incriminate Trump. The establishment hates him because over the last 6 years, he's been the single greatest hindrance to the radical left completely taking over. The motive here was exactly the same as during Russiagate, the proven manipulation of the 2020 election, the fabricated January 6th incident, and the Ukraine impeachment. Each of these was about nothing other than trying to prevent Donald Trump from ever having influence over American politics again. In each case, he's been exonerated by the facts, which defendants had to fight hard to uncover. It's important to realize the magnitude of this Mar-a-Lago operation. To search property of a former U.S. president in a building that's protected by the Secret Service, national security officials would normally have a warrant certified by a highly experienced district court judge. In this case, the warrant was signed by a court master who isn't even a judge. The Fourth Amendment to the Constitution requires particularity and probable cause in conducting a search. This is always the case, but it's especially important not to violate this requirement when dealing with a former U.S. president. This warrant was very nonspecific and basically gave permission to seize anything stored with or placed near the listed items. This was a highly unprofessional and unconstitutional search that was authorized by corrupt individuals sitting at the top of the FBI and DOJ as a political move. If FBI Director Christopher Wray was doing his job, he would not have allowed this to move forward. The mainstream media falsely claimed that Trump violated protocol by declassifying documents without following a written process. The President of the United States is the executive branch of the government, and thus he is the sole arbiter of document classification. If he wants to declassify a document, all he needs to do is say it's declassified. No written material is required. The FBI and government officials know that they can't prove that he didn't declassify the documents in this manner, and that they've therefore lost the factual argument. As a result, their only option is to claim the protocol was violated. So bottom line, this whole operation was corrupt. Now, having said all that, many prominent MAGA Republicans spoke up on social media after the fact, emphasized that it's more important than ever to rally behind Trump and support him like crazy for his next presidential run. Although it's true that Trump was factually one of the greatest U.S. presidents, and that these repeated attacks against him and his family are disgraceful, consider this: the political establishment knows he's a somewhat controversial figure, even among many Republicans, due to his unorthodox ways, and that many people support the continuation of the MAGA movement, but are ready to move on from Trump himself. In 2022 and beyond, Trump might not be the key to Republicans winning elections. I personally suspect that those in the establishment realize this, and want MAGA Republicans to strongly encourage their followers to support Trump, because they believe it'll keep the establishment in power. If this is true, then a number of influential patriots played right into the hands of the left. Republicans need to be careful to avoid these emotional knee-jerk reactions that are characteristic of the other side. In this case, the dust is settled, but as long as Trump continues toward another presidential run, the rinse-repeat cycle of efforts to sabotage him will continue. I would absolutely support Trump again in 2024 if he wins the primaries, but my gut tells me that the key to taking our country back is now Ron DeSantis, and that if MAGA Republicans don't look at the big picture, keep a step ahead of the left, and outsmart them, will ultimately be defeated.